So let's start. So today's topic is regression. Actually speaking, this is the topic which is generally used in all these, uh, machine learning and those kind of scenarios. So until now, we talked about statistics which can do the inferential statistics. So this one is the best example as far as the predictions are concerned. You can say that this is the closest that anybody can really relate to what the prediction means. Right? So what is correlation? Correlation talks about relating to. It only tells that whether two variables are related or not, and how far they are related, and how strongly they are related in which direction. But correlation really doesn't tell you what causes this particular relation. So it is only saying that, okay, yeah, so and so hair, number of hair strands on your head is correlated to your bank balance. But it doesn't talk how this hair strand is related to the bank balance. No, the lesser the hair is, better the bank balance. Might correlation actually say that and leave it. Regression is the one which talks about cause and effect. So using regression, what you can do is you can predict. So I have something like, temperature of the day. Now using temperature of the day, if I am able to predict how many ice creams that I can sell, then that is where the regression is going to come into picture. So using regression, I can actually talk about causation. I can talk about how the other is really affected. So it is not just about telling that, yeah, ice cream sales and temperature of the day are related. It is also about I'm able to predict how many ice creams that I can sell. I'm going to sell based on what is the temperature of the day. Okay. So regression really goes into the prediction. You can predict Y based on the values that you have for X. It is two variables. So there is multi-regression. Using multiple variables, you can predict something. And regression is one of the widely used algorithm. And there are various types of regression. So it is not just one type of regression. But here what we are actually learning is a linear regression, and which is a very simplistic form of regression. So there are multiple regressions which are beyond this linear regression, depending upon the nature of the data and all those stuff, which are used in more complex situations. So what linear regression is? Again, the thing is very, very simple. We are talking about the similar things. Like if you remember, we are talking about a linear relation. Even in the correlation algorithms that we actually we spoke about data being linearly correlated. Here, if the ice cream sales is linearly related with the temperature, then you will be able to predict. If it is not linear, if it is not a straight line like this, if it goes ups and downs, then linear regression is not the one which needs to be used. So there are other regression types, logistic regression and various other types are there. Okay, so this linear regression is used when the data is having a linear relationship. Okay, so here and there, the data could actually vary. So for example, if you see this particular diagram, you're not really seeing the data to be exactly on the line, but it is approximately on the line, right? So you can actually draw one thing. So there is slight error, right? I mean, some points are little above, some points are little down, but if you actually see on an average, then you can actually talk about the straight line as a relation. So linearly correlated, then linear regression comes into picture. And where linear regression is used? When you are trying to predict the causation, you are trying to predict Y using X. That is why you come up with a linear regression equation So using that equation in future, if you have X, you can predict Y. So most of the artificial intelligence or machine learning that you see, if somebody is predicting based on XYZ parameters, you can predict when it is going to rain based on wind speed, based on humidity or something else, something else. Somebody prepares a weather report saying that, okay, today so-and-so time it is going to rain. So how those predictions are happening? Most of these predictions use regression. Okay, so there are various other things as well, but to give you an example, it is used to actually, predict why. Okay, so any doubts till now? Is everybody clear on regression? What the regression is?
Yes, I think regression basically tells you the cause and effect of the two variables.
Yes. You are talking about how y would be caused if x based on x. You have x is causing y. You are talking about how this is caused, how they are related. So how part really comes into regression.
So, like you said,
This doesn't talk about how,
hmm, hmm,
right?
yeah.
So, so now going further, few concepts. When you see this particular line, right? So I'm not too sure how many remember the basic mathematics that used to be, right? So equation looks like this. Y equal to a plus bx. So if you know x, then you can predict y. Okay. So now in this particular equation, so all linear equations looks like this only. Okay. So in this particular equation, there are few terms. Whatever b that you are seeing is called as slope. Okay. Whatever a that you are seeing, it is called as intercept. Okay. So I will tell you in the graph what slope is, what intercept is. Okay. So when you are forming this equation, if I am trying to see, regression is all about whatever that we are going to learn is, so basically I have X and Y data. Okay. Using X and Y data, can I form this regression? Can I come up with this regression equation? So can I compute regression equation by having a historical data? So if you take how the machine learning algorithms really evolve, what we do is we actually take data, historical data, and using historical data, I come up with the equation. So basically, I train the model and I will form an equation. So now using this equation in future, when the scenario comes, I go and predict it. So how this happens, let's say I know that rain is going to be dependent on wind speed. Rain is going to be dependent on, let's say, some other parameter like humidity. So I will collect the data over the period of time in the past, saying that, okay, yeah, what is the wind speed? What is the humidity, and how much of rain it has fallen, right? So basically, I can take all these three parameters. So now I have like wind speed and then rainfall, wind speed, rainfall, wind speed, rainfall. So wind speed was 90, rainfall happened for like 2 mm. No, wind field was 100, rainfall happened for 5 mm. So I have like data, previous data, historical data. So using this, now I will find out what is the equation. Okay, so how can I predict rainfall? So rainfall is y, x is wind speed. So now I have historical data. Now I find an equation which is called as a regression equation, which looks like this, whatever that we have seen, right? it looks like this equation. So now I came up with the equation based on historical data. Now, once I have this equation, in future, if I have wind speed, I can easily tell what is the rainfall. Okay, once this equation is there, I can predict for any day in future as well. So this equation really we come up with this equation based on historical data. And once I come up with this equation, now I can predict even for future. So entire regression problems that we are going to solve is about computing how you are going to come up with regression equation. Okay, so you have historical data of X and Y. Now using X and Y, can I form that equation? Okay, can I get to this equation? So now if I have to get to this equation, what I need to know? I need to know this B, which is slope, and I need to know intercept. Okay, so what is slope? What is intercept? I will explain. Okay, so you understood what regression is trying to do, right? Regression equation is all about using historical data of X and Y. You are coming up with the equation so that in future, when you have X, you can predict Y. Is it clear till now?
Yes, so far clear. People, I am not doing so good, so please respond.
Okay, so now let's understand what is the slope. Now you have some line like this, right? So slope is nothing but what is this line tilted towards. So is it like, you can see the angle that it is forming, like an angle, it is going like this. Let's say, is it flat like this? Or is it more vertical? Or is it going to be horizontal like this? So this angle or the slope of this particular line is what the B is. Okay. How far this line is tilted towards vertical or towards horizontal, what is the angle that it is making. Slope is pretty easy to understand. Now coming to intercept. Intercept is when this line, you are drawing this line like this, wherever it is cutting this y-axis, that is called as an intercept. Okay. So wherever this is going and cutting the x-axis, that is called as an x-intercept. Here we are predicting y using x. Okay. So we are interested in y-intercept, not exactly x-intercept. Okay. So you can see this line. So wherever this actually goes and cuts, it is the intercept. Wherever it is cutting the line, it is x-intercept. So A, whatever that you are seeing here is that intercept. When you draw that line, whatever A that is going to be is about that intercept. Now coming to the third one, is called as a residual error. Okay, what is residual error? So now you have a line like this. Points, you can see even here, points are not exactly on the line. They are like here and there, here and there, here and there, right? So whatever the distance that you are actually seeing here, deviation is called as a residual error. Okay?
Praveen, if I could interrupt,
Yeah.
the residual error, how
Yeah.
can it be a constant there? Because lot many points will vary in different measurement, no?
Yeah. So basically, it is not about for every, so it is not constant. Okay. So uh, it is like when it says constant here, it is not trying to say that every point is having same distance. It is not saying that. It is saying that it is I mean, in algebra term, whatever that you have here is a constant. because it is not a multiplicable product or whatever it is. So in a equation, the plus c, ax plus bx plus c, let's say if this is the equation, the c that is last is a constant. It is called as a constant. Okay. So here residual error is constant doesn't mean that every point is equidistant. Okay. So you are misinterpreting whatever the name that the constant that is being called here. It is the constant from the point of view of equation. Okay. So, but every point could be of a different distance. Okay. So you can see here, the value of error is not correlated across all observations. There is no relationship.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the point which is covering your thing. So constant here is it's an algebraic term that is being used here, not really talking about every point is equidistant. Okay.
Yeah.
So efficiency of prediction is in the end, so this residual error is generally used to actually come up with the efficiency of the equation. So once the equation is there, you are going to check what is the residual error based on whatever the equation that you have, and the efficiency of your equation, or rather how good your prediction is, really depends on this particular residual error. So if this residual error is too huge, when you actually calculate R square across all the points or the regression here, then your equation is not really good enough. Because even if you predict Y, for example, this is too far, even if you predict Y, then the value is going to be a little far away from whatever that you predict, because you are going to predict this point, which is there on the line in future, right? So for the point which is not existing here, and you are trying to predict that point, then you are going to predict on this line. You cannot predict a residual error. Okay. So if in your equation, based on whatever the known values that are there, if the residual error is huge, then what it means is your equation is less accurate. Okay. But anyway, let's not go to those particular concepts now. But generally, you understood what exactly the residual error is, right? So residual error also follows the normal distribution. That is what is our assumption. Okay. And the so the other error is this residual error has same variance given any value of the explanatory variables. So basically this residual error is generally
there is some confusion. If the residual error is constant across all the observation, then it will not be normal distribution, right?
No, it is not constant. That is what I was saying.
Okay,
so it is not constant.
Okay.
It is an algebraic constant. It is, yeah, it is not constant.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So when we actually form this particular equation, whatever the equation that we are going to compute, we are not going to compute the residual error, because residual error is something which is unpredictable. Okay. So it is something that is so it only determines that the accuracy of your equation. So like if you remember earlier, we used to actually come up with something like level of significance and all those stuff, right? So based on that, you are going to predict how good is your prediction is, or rather how good your inference is. So here residual error is used only to check how good is your equation. Okay. Other than that, residual error doesn't really come up into the picture when you are finding the equation. So in the equation, mainly we calculate two parts. One is the slope and the other is intercept. Okay. Residual error is an invisible factor which cannot be predicted as such. Okay, so this is the scope of error. So using the current values, you can only check how good is your equation by calculating the residual error using this like this. Okay, so when you have mean of y and you also have mean of x, you can come up with the residual error and just check how good is your equation. Okay, but you can't really predict residual error unless and until you know why. For the things that you don't know, you can't really predict residual error. Okay, so now that is about the concepts of the linear regression. Okay, so any doubts till now?
All good, Praveen.
Fantastic. So now how exactly we are going to find the equation? So if you see in our exam, right, most often what are the questions that we are going to get? Okay, so first three you can actually see it is more about we solving the equation. So the third one is more about you take the data, you come up with the equation is what it was saying. The first two is about finding the equation. So you are going to come up with the equation. That is exactly what the questions are. So this is more about telling what exactly linear regression means. So whatever the theory that we learned is what you will have to write when somebody asks what is linear regression. Okay, so the data is linearly correlated, you have slope, you have intercept, you have residual error. So regression is generally used to predict y and all those things. Okay, so the question, now what we are actually doing, we are actually learning this, how you are going to compute the regression equation. Okay, so now we have x and y. So mainly what are the parts that we are going to find out? We are going to find out the slope and we are going to find out the intercept. Okay, so now what is the formula for slope? So first let's actually go through the slope. Okay, so if you see this formula for slope is this: covariance of xy divided by variance of x. Okay, in the past, we have gone through how to calculate covariance, how to calculate variance multiple times. So still we'll go through again, but this is not something that we haven't done earlier. So it's just matter of we finding covariance and dividing it by variance. Okay, and important point to look at is first is obviously covariance of x and y. The second is variance of x because we are coming up with the equation to predict y. Okay, so when you are coming up with the equation to predict y, then it is variance of x. If you are doing the prediction of x, it would be variance of y. Okay, so covariance of xy divided by variance of x. That is the equation that you need to remember. So now how, if you, I'm not sure how many remember how we calculate covariance. Covariance is done even in Pearson correlation. Covariance is done in various other whatever the equations that we solved earlier, right? So, but still we'll go through. So how covariance is done? You will put it in a table, x, y. First, you will find mean of x, mean of y. Okay, and you are going to do x minus mean of x, y minus mean of y. So you are getting how much each variable is deviating from its mean. So here you have 2, mean is 4, 2 minus 4 is minus 2. 3 minus 4 is minus 1. 2 minus 4 again minus 2. 5 minus 4 is 1. 8 minus 4 is 4. Same exercise done for y as well. We are deducting mean from the value of these x and y. So what? So once you have this x minus mean of x, y minus mean of y, you are going to multiply both x minus mean of x and y minus mean of y. Okay, so we are multiplying minus 2 and minus 1 is 2. Again, minus 1 minus 2 is 2. Minus 2, 0 is 0. 1 and minus 3, minus 3. 4 and minus 6, minus 24. And then we are going to calculate sum of this multiplication, whatever that we have, x minus mean of x, y minus mean of y. And then we are dividing by n minus 1. If you remember, we talked about in the other class, when your entries, when you have lesser than 30 entries, then what it means is you need to use n minus 1 in the formula. If you have more than 30, you are going to use n. To find standard deviation, to find variance, this is the thing that is going to be used. N minus 1 is used when you have lesser sample size. So that is why here, whatever that we have, now minus 25, covariance, how it is going to be found? Minus 25 divided by 4, which is, because there are 5 entries here, 5 minus 1 is 4. So covariance is minus 6.25. How variance is done? So instead of multiplying x with y, you are going to square it, basically. Is the x minus mean of x square. So that means minus 2 square is 4, minus 1 square is 1, minus 2 square is 4, 1 square is 1, 4 square is 16, that is 26. Again, variance of x is divided by n minus 1, so it is 6.5. So now you got variance of x and you also got variance, the covariance of xy. You can find slope in this way. Slope is minus 0.9615. So now you are going to find the intercept. Okay. So intercept is found it in this way. So basically mean of x minus b into mean of y equal to 4 minus so and so. So you have an equation here. Okay. So pretty simple to calculate. Should we actually calculate with another sample together? Or do you want me to actually explain steps again? Steps are pretty simple. If you know how to calculate covariance and variance, it's straightforward.
Praveen, the last one is interesting. Intercept equal to mean of y minus b into mean of x. If you convert that, it will be like mean of y equal to intercept plus b into mean of x. Y is to mx plus c. Same equation.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. So any doubts, or should we actually solve another one together so that we are clear?
We'll solve one together.
Solve together. Right. Fantastic. So stopping the sharing and then putting the whiteboard. Okay. Are you able to see?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so now I am putting very randomly, I am coming up with values right now. I'm just giving very short one so that we can do it. We can concentrate on how to solve rather than, you know. Okay, so this is what I have as a table.
One question, Praveen, can same x can have multiple value of y? Possible? Huh?
It is possible.
Okay.
You might have more error in this particular case, but it is possible.
The question is, will we take multiple readings? Is the question actually in any correlation study.
And one more thing is, it is little tricky when you have, yeah, it can.
Okay.
It can. Okay. So now can we solve this? So what is the first step?
Take out mean.
Anyone?
Mean.
Note down
Mean.
data.
Yeah, adding everything and then take out mean.
Mean of x. First, I need to find out what is the mean of x. What is the mean of x?
18 by 5. 3 point something. 3.56.
18 by 5, huh?
Yeah.
So 3.6.
Yeah.
Mean of x. Y. What is mean of y?
6.
Anybody else?
No.
Anyone in any objections?
No, it's not 6. Somebody add, yeah.
9 plus 12.
21, 28 by 5.
28 by 5.
3.6 again. 5.6.
5.6. So now?
X minus mx.
Correct.
Y minus my.
What is x minus 1? Can somebody tell? What is the value here?
0.06.
Are you sure?
Minus point.
Yeah.
Minus point.
Exactly. Next.
Same. Minus 0.06.
Next.
1.4.
1.4. Minus 1.6. 1.4.
Next.
Minus 1.6. Minus 0.06. 1.6. 0.4. 1.4.
Okay. So now x minus m square.
Point 0.36. 1.96. 2.56. No. 1.14 is 196. 1.96.
Yeah. Next.
16, 256, 2.56.
Okay, so other than Ritu and Praj, who is going to tell the next step?
That would be y
Covariance
now.
will be x minus, what was it? Forgot the equation. This minus that by something. X minus.
This is,
First we'll have to add up, no?
no, you need to multiply these two.
Okay.
Whatever that we have here, x. See, if you are finding only x, you are squaring this. Remember this particular tip. If you are doing for variance of x, you are not worried about anything related to y. If you are doing only y, you are not worried about x. You are just doing the square of it. Okay. But when you are talking about covariance, you are going to multiply these two. You are not squaring it.
Okay.
Okay. So it is like x into y kind of a thing. Okay. So what you are actually doing? Minus 0.6 into minus 0.16. How much is that?
0.96.
What are we multiplying? X into y, yeah?
X minus
y.
x
These
bar
two.
into y minus y bar.
Can
Okay.
you see the
The second
highlighted
is,
one?
okay.
Second one is?
I got confused somewhere.
36.
0.36 and 0.56.
Are you still confused, perhaps? Or are you
Yeah,
clear?
yeah, got it.
Because you are finding covariance. The x and y mix. You have to mix x and y. That is what it is. Okay?
Yeah.
This one?
56. So 0.56. .64 minus.
This is minus. Right?
Right.
Okay. What is the next step towards covariance? Covariance of xy. You need to add up this column. Whatever that we have.
Sum of xy by n minus 1.
Yeah, I wrote xy, but it is x minus mx, y minus. Yeah, just to make it easy, I wrote this. You can see it is as my. Okay. Now, how we are going to find sum of this x minus m y, right? So how much is it? Did anybody calculate?
No. Excel sheet. Too lazy on Friday.
After thinking so much, you decided that you are lazy. 3.2. Sum is 3.2.
Everybody else is watching movies.
Yeah? This is recording, Praharsh.
Oh, okay.
3.2.
2.
3.2. Okay. Now covariance of xy. 3.2 divided by
5 minus 1, 4.
Fantastic. How much?
Someone says 0.8.
0.8. So now, how you are going to find covariance of variance of x?
Sum
Can
of
somebody sum this?
x minus x bar whole square.
Sum this part.
That we already did, right? 3.6 into 5. So that'll be 118.
No. How did we do
that
it?
we didn't
No,
do.
right?
That who will add it now?
Some,
3.72.
someone with a calculator will add.
0.36 plus 0.36 plus. Now I can't see anything.
7.2.
7.2 plus.
Sum is 7.2.
7.2.
Oh, okay.
So sum is 7.2. 7.2 divided by 5 minus 1, 4. You understood how this 4 is coming into picture, right?
N minus 1.
N minus 1 because the number of items are less than 30.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
This is 1.8. So now how B is calculated?
Covariance by variance.
That is 0.8 divided by 1.8. 0.8 divided by 1.8 is 0.44. Okay. So now we got B. How we are going to get A, which is intercept? Intercept mean of Y minus B into mean of X. That is equal to mean of Y kitna? 5.6. Right? B 0.44 into mean of X
3.6.
3.6. How much did we get? 3.6 into 4, 1.59 minus
4.02.
4.01.
4.01. 4.01. So now we have X, we have Y. So the equation is Y equal to B into X. B is 0.44X plus what is A? 4.01. This is the regression equation.
Done, deal.
Done. Any doubts or are we clear?
Okay, so this covariance of xy is equal to 3.2 by 4. That is 4 is n minus 1, right?
N minus 1, yes.
Okay.
We have entries, 5 entries here. And
5 minus 1, 4.
yes.
Okay. Okay.
So any other doubts or are we clear on regression equation?
Clear.
I think we are done with it then. So only other things that you need to remember is this is just 2 variables. There can be n number of variables. So there is multi-regression that is also possible. But we don't have any equation to solve for multiple regression. You don't have to worry about how to solve this particular thing, right? So you just have to be aware that yes, there is something called as a multilinear regression, which means there can be n number of x's. Y is only one. You're going to predict only one, but x can be multiple. Okay. And there also it
Sorry,
is.
can you
It
repeat?
is same. So basically, it is like this. Like this. Stop sharing. Okay, so basically, this is what is multilinear means. Okay. So you can have any number of x's. Okay, but it's only that you are doing one y. Okay, so the earlier one, whatever we read, is bivariate. So when we have only two variables, x and y, this is multi. You have x1, x2, x3. All the three can predict y. That is multi-regression, multiple regressions is what it is. Okay. The bivariate means two variables. Multi-regression means multiple variables. That's all it is saying.
Okay.
Okay. So, any other questions, or else I think we can conclude the class.